Hello and welcome to the Alter project. Today guys, we'll be working on another how-to mini project series, although the amount of time I spent building this wasn't mini at all. But again, I don't have any historical facts to geek on this week, so it's gonna be another video where perhaps I could introduce some tips that I use when building my projects to you guys. So without further ado, let's begin. So another big reason why this video can be categorized as a mini project is, yeah, maybe the length of this video, but really because the build itself, if you really dissect it, is pretty simple. To begin with, take any plot of land. I decided to use this area located in between Fort Bellinger and Alhaim, and removed any excess trees that populated the area. And if you want to take things a step further, go ahead and completely change the landscape. Since the terrain I was building on was pretty messed up, I used the /BR smooth tool, which is really handy, especially when building landscapes using World Edit. I also got rid of some land chunks since I thought they were in the way of the build as well. The next step I did is totally optional. You guys don't have to do it if you don't want to, but I decided to carve these thin trenches which will later function as streams. And then I began building the main attraction of today, massive trees. I was imagining the trees to be something like the ones from Attack on Titan, and yo, those trees are massive! So the main focus of today is to make the trees as big as it can possibly get. I used the brush tool in World Edit to build the tree trunks and the branches. The brush I used was a mixture of spruce and dark oak wood. So guys, in case you guys want a little more in-depth I probably can't call this a tutorial, but if you guys wanted a little more in-depth explanation to how I make these trees, I'm going to be giving it to you right now. In order to do this, I use World Edit, so you need to have World Edit in order to do all the things I'm about to do. So make sure you download World Edit for whatever version of Minecraft you have. And yeah, once you have World Edit, grab whatever tool you want. It has to be a tool, it can't be a block. The first thing you want to do is write /gmask air. And when you enter that, what happens is it's basically telling Minecraft that when I start building, it will only affect air and not any other blocks. So let's say if I do /br sphere, air 3, this is a brush tool that without gmask would create these holes. However, with gmask air, since it only affects air, it would not do any damage to any blocks besides air. Once you did /gmask air, what you want to do is do /br sphere. So this is the first two commands that you have to press if you want to make any type of brush that has to do with sphere. What I did for my tree is first searched for spruce wood, and then comma dark oak wood. And you need to have a comma if you want to mix two different blocks in one brush. For the brush size, depending on the type of trees, I'm going to be making one of the big ones. 6 is the maximum, but I'll do something like 5. And if you look at the trees, you notice that as it gets higher, the tree gets thinner. So to do that, what I did was first I selected the size 5 brush and then built up like this. And once it gets to around that height is good, I go ahead and make the size smaller. Let's see how 3 would look. Is that a bit too thin? That might be a bit too thin. And always use the /undo command if you don't like what you just did. And I'm gonna do 4. And yeah, that looks good. So we're gonna continue building up. Then 3, 2, 1. Okay. So by now you should have something that looks like that. That looks weird. Yeah, spend more time on this when you do have the time. And as you notice, since it is a sphere, it's gonna leave this really weird pattern on the tree. So to smooth that out, this one you'll have to do it manually or by hand. So you have to place each block in order to smooth it out. And yeah, so when you smooth it out, well, when I smoothed it out, it became something like this. So we're gonna skip that since it takes a bit of time. And what we're gonna do now is make the branches. So branches are the same thing. I use the 1 tool to grow the branches out. If you want to have smaller branches, you could always do 0.5 or 0.1. In which case I guess 0.1 doesn't do anything, so I guess 0.5 to make smaller branches. And yeah, just do that all over the area. And once you finish, obviously take more time and don't make it look like. But yeah, when you finish, this is my finished state for now. Move on to the next stage, which is add the leaves. I like adding variation to my leaves. I don't want it to be one flat color. And to do that, same idea, /br sphere. I'm going to be using birch leaves and also spruce leaves. And then I think 1 or 2 is the best one. It provides the most amount of details. Oh, sorry, I also forgot. Add also air. It gives a more leafy feel. It provides this more... It doesn't look very leaf-like when it's just a clump of leaves, you know? So we're gonna go on and add it to our very good-looking tree. That's kind of great. That's kind of great. I'm actually kind of liking this. Maybe put it in some like desert region or something. I don't know. Not too bad. not too bad. Obviously, take more time. Once you add all the leaves, if you think it's good, go ahead and first do the / wand to summon your wand, and left click it. It'll choose position 1. When you do position 1, position 2, it's basically selecting everything in between the first position and the second position as a block. So if, say, I do / position 2 over here, it's basically everything within this point and that point. This kind of rectangular prism is currently selected. And here's the important part. I'm going to be kind of showing how to do /copy, but where you press /copy is very important. Let's say if you do /copy over here and then do /paste over here, then the tree will spawn somewhere over here, and that can make things very complicated and annoying. So always remember where you /copied, and then once you find a good spot, do /paste, and voila, there is now 2 very unfortunate trees. And yeah, that's it. That's just a really quick way of how I make my trees. Obviously, please do spend more time. And once you have these basic skills of making a tree, you could make many other variations, like this tree. This really thin tree. Instead of using the oak woods for the branches, I instead used fences. And there are also a bunch of other variations you can make, and yeah, this isn't only limited to the very tall straight ones. You can make a bunch of other type of trees like oak trees as well using this technique. It's basically the same thing. So yeah, that's how you make trees. I'm gonna go delete that now. So after building your trees, it's time to repopulate. Help the earth a little. Using the copy and paste tool, just spread the massive tree population all over your given landscape. And with this, your grass plain should look a little more forest-like. If you feel like your forest is a little too repetitive since you're copy and pasting the same tree, you can always create different variations of the same tree type like I did, or also introduce some new trees into the ecosystem. For my build, I used a spruce tree I built in my Lake Gladio video, as well as made a thinner tree that is about the same height as the massive ones. And with all your trees in place, what's left is the terrain designing. So moving on, I'm going to be explaining how I decorate my terrain. Yeah, I think just having a flat, plain grass field is a bit boring. It looks a bit flat and Minecrafty. So going back to the /gmask thing, last time we used /gmask, we did /gmask air, so that selects only air as the blocks that could be altered. So this time we're going to instead do /gmask grass blocks. Since our next brush, we want to only change all the grass blocks. And then next we again use that //br sphere command, and we'll select grass block and then pot soul. And so once you do that, you have like a variation of both grass blocks and pot soul, and it creates this kind of cool looking pattern. And then I'd choose now a second tool, and for this one I'll do //br sphere grass block, and this time green concrete. And then let's make it like 5 or something. And when you do this, now it's basically the same thing, but this time the pot soul is replaced as green concrete. Minecraft or World Edit remembers which brush is which, so you could always change brushes. And yeah, so this is I think the basic decoration I selected for the terrain itself. So if you find that useful, please do use that for your builds. I just think So using your brush technique, you could go ahead and just paint your whole terrain. Again, I really do believe having a color variation for your terrain really strengthens your landscape, so I strongly suggest that you use this technique if you haven't before. Try it out and see if you like it. And that is pretty much all the stages I went through when building today's forest. To go through it again, first clean out the terrain, then make your trees, mass produce your trees, and finally add some type of block variation to your terrain. I discovered that using bone meal really helps out for the last stage as well. It not only adds color to the landscape with the flowers, but the tall grass can also give the landscape more shape. And if you want to push in another extra step, that would be to add whatever decoration you want. For my build, I replaced the stone path with the grass path block. I also added some stones here and there using both the stone block and cyan terracotta. I built a sign as well that labels the direction the paths lead to. And finally, I built a collapsed tree with some grass growing on top of it. So that's pretty much it for the building portion, guys. I hope this video was helpful for the folks who are stumped with building forests. Again, this is my way. There are a billion other ways to build a forest in Minecraft. So really, my biggest tip is to experiment and explore. I think that's the most fun anyway. So that's it for all the building. Without further ado, let's move on to the cinematic.
Here we are, a million stars floating over our heads. Beating hearts, falling apart, staying up to forget. But baby, we'll fall. We all go dancing down, and paradise is found. We're shaking up the ground, 'cause there ain't no stopping now. We could be flying free, leave our worries below. Safe and sound, no one around, say the word and we'll go. But baby, we'll fall. We all go dancing down, and paradise is found. We're shaking up the ground, 'cause there ain't no stopping now.
So that's pretty much it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Not much lore or background history was spoken about this area in today's video, so I'll make sure to introduce some ideas I have in the near future. Next video, me and some of the scrubs explored a really cool Minecraft server. Normally I don't and won't post any content besides Alter, but I had to make a video about this one, and I'm pretty sure many of you will know why next week. So guys, I hope you had a good time. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Boy, yo, 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 yo.